been very, very positive. Obviously, it's 4 practices, 2 days, but acclimatization with helmets only, 2 days with shells, and then your 5th day is a full padded practice. So, it's gone well. A lot of guys have stepped up in terms of their learning process. Some of these young players we'll be given some opportunities here to see if they can help us, this season. But overall, I like the progress that's being made.
What did you expect from Matt Johns over the summer, and has he come back to camp the way you might have hoped that he would progress?
Yeah, a lot of it is kind of the off-the-field leadership part of it. During the summertime, there's a little bit. We're limited in the time that we can have with them as far as coaching. There are some opportunities, but most of the time the players organize, whether it's 7-on-7s or throwing sessions or whatever it might be. Matt was very instrumental in getting the team together, getting the receivers together, getting the offensive linemen, making sure they're working out with the defensive linemen, and that's a leadership part that maybe in the past we haven't had, but he's really shown himself to be a guy that's not just concerned about what he does, what he has to do, but also the surrounding cast. And I believe that's why our players respect him so much and call him a leader.
So what do you need to see out of him on the field now in preseason?
Coming out of spring practice, we talked about quarterbacks being accurate, about quarterbacks facilitating the run after the catch, like putting it on the receiver so it allows him to catch, turn and run, put it up high enough so he can catch it. He doesn't have to bend down and fall down on the ground. So being accurate is critical, number one. But also, as I said, throw the ball to some of the skill guys that we have and allow them to use their God-given abilities and talents to continue to run.
I know it's only been a couple days, but has he sort of separated himself from the pack and really solidified his position as the number 1 guy?
Matt's done an excellent job thus far. He has command of the offense in every way. As I said, that off-the-field leadership part was indicative of how our guys got together and worked out. He continues to have that type of presence, not only in the huddle, but just simple things. And you want leaders to have those type of abilities, and he has done that. And he has separated himself from the standpoint of our players having a tremendous amount of confidence in him.
Ham had a good spring and was pushing for playing time. How has he been so far? Is he still pushing for playing time? Is he a potential starter still?
He, ending the spring depth chart, he was listed, with smoke, and Daniel has done an excellent job again of being a guy that is a type of runner that can hit it downhill. He's a track guy. He's improved in his strength. With Daniel, Taekwon, Albert Reed, there's some guys that have been added to the backfield that have made us or making us a better offensive threat when it comes to running the ball, because a lot of them have different skill sets, but at the same time, we feel good about the offensive line. We feel good about the runners who are running the ball. So Daniel's a team player. He'll fit in wherever needed, and thus far he's looked pretty good in camp.
Yeah, Severin and Matt Johns are roommates. They've kind of grown up in this program together. You saw this a little bit a couple of years, I think, Rocco with Jake, but you were really close off the field, that connection on the field. How can does that translate? Does that chemistry work, when they go to the field?
It's done it right now. I mean, it's done it because the relationship that Kanan and Matt Johns has spilled over into Jackson Mateo saying, what, I like what you guys have, what you guys are doing. Hey, Kanan, what are you doing? How'd your body change? It spilled over into Jackson Mateo being part of what Kanan, Severin's all about, and other players on our team. So, it is about teammates. It's about, 2 guys. You mentioned 2 guys there. They don't care who gets the credit. Jackson Mateo joins the group. His body's changed. His mentality has changed. Other guys are seeing that as well, and that's the kind of thing that happens in locker rooms that you can't measure it on the field, but those are the things that are happening with this team that I feel really good about.
Like with Quanti Moore, is that where you put him? Is that more dependent on trusting Trent Corney at defensive end? And if you can you put Quanti more in the middle, or is he going to be kind of
I believe Quanti's a guy that, if you remember what Mike Moore played last year for us, you had Eli, you had Max. Mike was an inside guy because he was multiple. He could play in, play inside. Quanti's kind of emerged as that type of guy himself. He can play inside on the different packages that we play. He's big and strong, and he can work. He can come off the edge. So I think Quanti's abilities have now, we put to rest the whole linebacker thing, coming out of high school, 5-star linebacker, I want to play. I think Mother Nature has decided how much he's going to weigh because, he's embraced the fact that he can be an every down player for us, not just first, second down, but also third down because he can move inside. And so he's embraced that role, and he's had, a couple good practices. He's had a good spring. He had a good winter workout. So we'll see what Quanti can do on the field.
How has Rainey progressed in filling that role?
But Kelvin has done a nice job of just, being an older guy that sat in those meeting rooms and has heard, the messaging of how you play the position and the calls over and over again. And just like any position, any player, as you get older and you ascend into a position of, the expectation of being able to contribute, he is doing that and he's done that. And he's a very physical player. He's continuing to learn the defense, but he's very confident as well. And it helps that Quinn's kind of taking the role of being Anthony now, being the guy that's lining everybody up. And Kelvin, being an older guy, hasn't played in scrimmage downs. He's played a lot in terms of special teams. But the two of them back there together, they've looked good thus far. Again, it's four practices going into the season. But the two of them are working well together.
What have the linebackers shown you so far, considering there's not a lot of experience there, and I guess where have the early growing pains been like for them?
We do have, again, two solid individuals right now, and that's Bradshaw, Zach Bradshaw, Micah Kaiser. Micah Kaiser's done a phenomenal job. I mean, you talk about a guy that knows the defense and knows how to make the calls and the checks. He's done an excellent job. And, those two guys have been in games. C.J. Stalker, even though he came as a mid-year, is still kind of finding his way a little bit, but he's improved. Mark Hall's another guy. So, as I've said before that the recruiting class that we recruited last year, the long, tall, lean, athletic guys can either play linebacker, stand-up outside linebacker, defensive ends, and, getting into this situation with them now as you start to go into scrimmages, have more, padded practices, kind of see their aptitude for contact, understanding recall. We'll find out real quickly here who those guys will be so we can kind of fill in, our personnel groupings.
I kind of along the same lines, you're replacing a fair amount of your front seven, and given the difficulty of the early schedule, how quickly do those guys have to grow up?
Well, the process is ongoing, and it's, it's something that, as we're preparing now, with 25 days left before the first game. But I go back again to the level of guys that know the system and the scheme. They've sat in the meeting rooms before, and they've heard, the explanations of the technique and the fundamentals and the things that are needed. And so our job now is to put collectively a group of players that can fit into those positions and techniques that are going to help us win this game or win games after this. The mindset is tremendous. The mindset is strong, and it's amazing when you approach things with the type of mindset that this team appears to have right now at this moment. How much you can do and how much you can accomplish. So it's kind of like adopting the philosophy. We don't care who gets the credit. We just want to win, whatever position, whatever spot, whatever opportunity a guy has. We want to make sure that we have the best opportunity to make things happen for us.